Okay, let me know when you got it.
Okay. Got it. Okay. TP safety inspection. Okay.
Okay, so basically this is going to be pretty simple. We have four safety inspectors, safety and quality control inspectors. And what they do basically is they go around and perform safety and quality control inspections on our inspectors and our crew that does, some of the repair work.
Okay.
And so we'd like to basically get an app. Right now we have this sheet of paper we're filling out and emailing back in, and then this is all being entered into, actually this is being entered into Excel right now.
Okay.
We'd like to just make it so the safety officers enter it directly into an app, and it goes straight into the database.
Right.
Um,
Question. This doesn't. This sheet report address. Oh, I got you. Okay. So Okay, I get it. I was trying to figure out how it relates to a specific employee. Is this the employee name is the person they're rating, right?
yes.
Okay. All right. I was trying to figure out how.
Yeah, that's the person they're rating. And basically, where all these check marks are basically all the safety and or quality control checkpoints that the safety officers have to check off.
Right. Right.
And they check either okay, not applicable, or needs correction.
Okay.
And then you see down below where it says new equipment used, disciplinary action / notes.
Yes.
So we would need. We don't really want an inventory control system, but we just want a place to be able to keep track of what equipment was issued to which inspectors or to which employees.
I see.
So we would need to be able to. There would need to be a section of equipment that was issued, and there would be a list of equipment, in the database.
Right. Right. Right.
And then there would be a section for notes, and I guess they could write in disciplinary actions or notes in that section if there was any done. And that's it. There is a place at the bottom for a signature, and I guess.
Yeah, we could do
I guess
that.
that wouldn't be too hard.
No,
What's that?
that's not hard at all. It's just we'd capture the image of the writing. Basically, they draw and we capture the end result drawing as an image.
Okay.
So
yeah, that'd be pretty easy.
Yeah, we could do a signature. Offhand, is it always going to be online? Is this an iPad app just like the other ones? Same version iPad?
It would need to be an iPad app like the other one you're developing.
Right.
There are going to be times where it won't be online. I mean, there are. Every once in a while, we're going to be at an inspection where we're not going to have, we're not going to be online.
Right.
So
just like because they're following an inspector around, so they really need to have the same structure. I can probably even use the same project, a copy of it, to save us some cost because it has all that offline, online type of coding already.
Right.
Yeah. And would we be looking at all new tables? Are we going to interface with that report, the employee table?
There'd be all new tables. We might interface with the properties table to get like if the quality control inspector put the report number in, maybe we could get the property address to pop up.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's pretty much it. Maybe their vehicle number could pop up. That stuff's all in the database already.
Right.
But as far as all the quality control checkpoints and new equipment, those would all be all new tables.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Um, that doesn't seem difficult, like you said. I'm just looking around trying to see if there's anything that jumps out at me. Yeah, this seems pretty very straightforward. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it could even be a one page uh, report that yeah, it just seems like this would be pretty simple to do offhand.
Right. And I guess the only thing that we need to have a record. So I guess the safety inspectors would need to go back in time to review previous reports done.
Only for that, for themselves, right?
Yeah, only for themselves, but also oh, you know what? Actually, there's more stuff coming to mind now that I'm thinking about the situation. Okay, so here's something that should be built into the system.
Okay.
So we have 4 inspectors, and they're all out, and there's a certain group of inspectors that need to be inspected, or that need to be checked every week. So we need to keep a list of which inspectors need to be checked and which inspectors have been checked.
Right. That way they can kind of
so that
themselves.
Exactly. So like say this guy Dean, if he needs to be checked during this week, once he gets checked, he needs to drop off the list.
Right. Yeah. Even slicker if you could check people in a certain area. I don't know what the range of these inspectors are, but if you were like trying to figure out who's at what job, so that you can go from place to place, that would be cool.
Right. Yes, and we would want to know their schedule. Like, for example, if Dean is still on the list for the week, we would want to be able to tell the safety inspectors, what Dean's schedule is for the day.
Right. And
like, so safety inspectors what's that?
They don't have to check in with the inspector when they are on their way to an inspection. They just,
no, they just show up.
Gotcha. And that guy better be there. Gotcha.
Yeah, he better be there. Exactly. So yeah, they just show up, and so it'd be nice. Now they would only need the current day's schedule,
right,
for outstanding inspectors. So there'd be a list of, I don't know, 10 or 15 inspectors that need to be checked, and then their current schedules for the day.
Okay. Do you want to get Jacob involved in this? Just is I have an idea, and I'm sure there's probably more requirements, but I have an idea of what you probably want some type of screen that shows the inspectors that are due, where they're at currently, probably the distance from where the safety inspector is, and then just a way to go into the actual critique sheet or whatever you guys call this, and then and a way to go back in time through them if you needed to.
Right. Well, I don't. I'm trying to think. Should we get Jacob involved? I don't really think so. I mean, as long as you can make the form look nice and it has the HomeGuard logo on it, and it's functional, I think we're good. And it doesn't need to be landscape and portrait, or it could be something that you could just rotate and it would just rotate.
Right. Yeah. I would say I'll run it by him, tell him what I'm going to do, and if he has some heartburn about wanting to do something, I'll tell him it's got to be quick and it's got to be like hours, not days.
Right.
And whatever you build is just what it is. But I want to capture all the requirements down on paper and get that back to you so that you can ensure that we got all the requirements.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. All right. That sounds simple enough. Anything else that jumps out at you about this?
No, but if I think of something, I will let you know.
Okay. I'll look and see, if there are any place. And so this is going into a database somewhere. Only that particular safety inspector will have access to its own stuff. There's no crossover, right?
Right. The safety inspector. Let me think here.
How do they?
Well, okay. No. I guess all the safety inspectors should have access to to everybody's stuff. It should be transparent across.
Okay.
Across the system.
How? All right, I get you. Because I want to say, is if the are the inspectors assigned a safety inspector or no?
No.
Okay.
And in fact, that's so a given safety inspector. In fact, this has happened, and so this is what we'd like to try to figure out a way to avoid happening. A given safety inspector, two different safety inspectors might try to
be at the same location. Yeah.
Exactly. Might try to be at the same location at the same time, and that's actually happened before.
I would say a way to claim them, like you start out in the morning and you're checking, you're deciding which person you're going to take. Maybe a
right.
checkbox that says "I got this guy," or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good. We should do something like that.
And then if it doesn't happen, in other words, they don't complete the safety inspection, then it'll just go back to it'll go back to unclaimed or whatever it is.
Right. Yeah, they could just turn it on and off.
Yep.
And it's okay. I mean, if they don't get a guy on a certain day, we can just get him the next day. It's not that big of a deal.
Right. Now, is there a point in time? I'm trying to just think of all the questions I would have had Anita gave me this earlier. Is there a point in time that you want to flag individuals as needing an inspection and didn't get one? So like it's Friday, it's a day that their 7 days has passed or whatever it is. Would you want
to? So, I believe right now the time between inspections is 5 weeks.
Okay.
So once an inspector gets checked, well, okay. So right now the way we do it is in every given week, an inspector. There's a group of inspectors, say anywhere between 20 and 30 inspectors that need to be checked. Well, actually, it's not that big. It's probably between 10 and 20.
Okay.
And then the following week, there's another group, and so on and so forth. And it rotates. Every 5th week, the same group comes up.
Right.
Well, if we have this in the database, it wouldn't necessarily have to be like that. We could just go 5 weeks since the last inspection.
Right.
And then they would just pop onto the list. It wouldn't necessarily have to be every week you get a new group of inspectors. It could be they just pop on the list. I would need to check with the lead safety officer to see how he wants to do that.
Okay, and this might be a dumb question, but this form is exactly what they like to enter. Like they don't have any gripes with the form that they currently have.
No, actually, there's a different form for roofing. This is the form for termite and property. What we should probably do is we should have a form for termite, a form for property, and a form for roof. In other words, we should have different quality control items,
Right.
and we should be able to turn them on and off for termite, property, or roof inspectors.
Yeah. What I already had in my head, the thoughts were that we'll just have a list of items and then associate, in a another table, the items to a type of inspection.
Right, or a type of inspector, more accurately.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So, yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. This will give me something to chew on. How soon do you guys want to start the specking process? Because probably what's going to happen, if it's sooner than later, I'll have Anelia or somebody else from the team take down the requirements, because they don't have to know how our mobile app works to write down what it is you're expecting at the end. The actual functional requirements.
Right. We'll probably want you to get to work on it as soon as this app is done.
Okay. Yeah. So we probably want to roll with requirements sooner. I'll talk to Mark and see if we can. There's a. I'd rather have either Anelia or one of our developers jump in and do that. But I'll let you know how that works. If it's me, I'll probably not be able to start on it till next week. But if there's somebody else, and I'll talk to him about that.
Okay. Well, obviously, we would want to get a bid, and
Right.
obviously that would need to be approved by management before anything happened. But subject to all that, I think we would want to get started as soon as you could.
Yeah. The bid would be me, gathering requirements, which I think we just did, majority of them. The person that would actually write those up would probably be listening to this recording, write it up, and then call you with any questions.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Well, I'm going to get back to work here. I've been trying to block off communication with everyone so I can get this thing done.
Right on. Do you need anything? Do you have any questions? I haven't really seen any reports come through.
No, I haven't put any through, but I can totally put a bunch through that I just did. What I've done is I've finished working on. There was a issue with fill-ins. It's not an issue now, and then now I think the only other issue I have is now it's just connecting the payments information back up. I took it out.
Okay.
And then all the braking bug is fixed. So at any point,
okay.
I can give you a version of this of the app. The only limitation would be I'd probably want to give you one with a different inspector or a way to set the inspector. That's probably the only thing I want to do. I don't want us both trying to use this.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. We could just there would need to be a way to set the inspector in the app, in the final app anyhow, right?
Right, absolutely. It's the first screen, but I hadn't created the first screen yet, but I can go off and
okay.
It's actually literally 10 minutes of my time to do that. It's nothing
okay
crazy. But I can do that. Let me take a note to do that. And I'll push the app out to you. And if you need help with the, installing it, give me a call. I'll be around all evening, and then all tomorrow. So if you want to install it, start playing. If you get any breaking, like if the app stops working for whatever, and it just dies on you, it sends me an email and also updates. I have a local database that will be going with you on the when you install it. but I suggest, and I think we talked about this at the beginning, that we actually um, store analytics like that on the server somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be
Um,
today. Today they're eating email since there's uh, so much error information. I prefer to have it come like directly to me so I can fix it. But at some point, we definitely want to have that particular thing in a database.
okay.
Yeah,
All right. That sounds good. Well, you just need to know. Just let me know the table parameters, and I'll get it going. I'll get it
yeah. It's
spun
simple.
up. Yeah.
It's a simple one. Matter of fact, I'll let me. That's a second note. Yeah, I'll take a note to do that. Just threw my pen away. Yeah, so that's a simple one. All it would be is what you get in basic stack trace information plus the user. It's not a big deal. All right, so I'll
Okay.
send that to you.
Okay, that sounds good. And so, how am I going to receive the app? Do I need to download it from somewhere, or is it going to be through an email?
There's a couple of ways to do this. My preferred method is to give you access to our OneDrive and that specific folder for download.
Mm-hmm.
That's my preferred method. The other
Is that on a web server?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And it just when you get into it, I probably ask you for password that I'll send you in a separate email, and
Okay.
and then from there you will have and just download it and right onto the iPad, install it, and it it should be fine from there. If it happens to crash again, I'll know immediately, and I can tell you why. I don't right now. Any issues that's causing a breaking change have been solved. I don't see any crashing issues, but if I find one,
Okay.
I'll let you know.
All right. That all sounds good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So just send me the link whenever you get it. It'll either be this afternoon or tomorrow morning, or
Yeah, it'll be this closer to this evening. I'm still on my list here. I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more items that are about an hour each. So
okay.
that'll put me right.
Well, I'll just look for it in the morning.
Yeah. I don't think you're waiting up for it.
Okay.
But I'll have it. You'll have an email tonight either way.
Okay. Sounds great. Can't wait.
Yep. Yeah, it's looking. It's functioning good. It's not looking good yet, but it will be. It's functioning well.
So what's the time frame on the graphics? You got different people working on that, or how does that work?
I have all the graphics, all of those in a separate project that is identical to what I'm working on. So what I do is I'm essentially going to switch out here. I'll just share my screen. Are you in a sharing screen place? This is easier, and you can understand this stuff, so it's easy. You're looking at code right now, but 2 seconds you will be seeing. So these things they're called storyboards. This is mine, which is a copy of theirs, and it has the same links to all the buttons and all these areas. It has all the same meaning. So what I do is basically switch mine with theirs, and I relink. I relink all the buttons. So in the process of linking a button is a drag and drop. So it's really, for me, the thing that I was trying to get done was the hardcore coding, and then I can go back into that storyboard, relink theirs. But I wanted to make sure all of the areas are the same. There's no difference in any of the stuff that's on mine and theirs. So that makes this a lot easier. Trust me, sitting there and having to do that would have been painful.
Oh yeah. So so it'll be a breeze to just switch over. So once we get it once it gets working and they get the formatting done, you just switch it over and boom, we'll have a formatted, polished app.
Yeah, the thing that I like
So,
to avoid is UI bugs versus coding bugs. So that's the reason why I do
hmm
it that way. I prefer to have the UI functioning separately, and I know it's working, rather than trying to figure out if my code is wrong from the server, from the middleware, or something that I've done in the app. I prefer to have the two separate places. And when we're done,
right.
this storyboard is a file, and you just link the file back up, and you move on. It's very simple. This actually, Apple was smart with this because you can't do the same type of thing easily in Android at all.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty cool then.
yeah. Okay, um,
Okay.
I'm close to being done. The fill-in issue is fixed. No more bugs. I think it's actually running. Um, there, the I was wrestling with there's a fill-in portion where Jacob had so you put in the fill-in that you want, and then you can unselect that particular fill-in, and it drops
hmm
off the box here. Um, that's the way he had done it, and I had done it. I'd looked at it differently, where inside of the box you can take something out by just unchecking it here. And the reason why I did that was, if you have a button and you used it, say 3 times, like I used and,
Uh-huh.
then
Okay.
if I unselect the button, it gets rid of um, at the or whatever it is in every case. It won't just.
Oh, I get it. So it's like a toggle button. It's not like it just hit the button and it throws the word into the mix.
Yeah, the original way it was done. Let me see if I can go back to my old code. The original way it was done was the you hit the button, it adds the word, and if you hit the button again, it gets rid of that word in the first instance that it finds it. Or I'm sorry, it's last in, first out. So if I hit the button,
Okay.
and then the button is say at, right, it'll put the word at, and then move on to the next at symbol, um, and you would hit the word at again and put that there. Now to get rid of it, you would have to do the opposite order, which I think is too much work. I think it should be, you should have. Let me just run it. I think it's. I don't know if it's broken. I might have done something to break it. This might be a breaking change. Let's see. Um,
I might need to tell you a couple things about how I'd like it to work.
yeah. Let me see if I can get rid of my. I introduced some errors in it, so let me see if I can get rid of them. Words. Oh yeah, I can get rid of it. Okay, without too much drama. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to think of how to do that without doing too much destruction of my code. Okay. And that. All right, that should be enough. Yep. Okay, let's run this guy. and it's moving slow because I'm getting all the data every time. It's not.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, this is not.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, it's actually doing database calls every time. It's not the way I would. I'm going to turn that off as soon as we're done developing. Um, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine for right now, but it's not going to be fine shortly. So the way this was functioning, when you click on, say, I'm sorry, I got debug stuff going on in my code. Uh, uh, did I do something? Miss something? Hold on a second. I think I might have.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
I've been there. I get it.
Let's see, continue. Okay. Yeah. Um, so if I click on these, these optional things here are just something that I just introduced. This is not something that's there normally.
Mm-hmm.
So what would happen is it continues to put your fill-in there, and what I have going, which I just commented out, is a looks like a hyperlink, so that you can click it and remove it right from this side, rather
Okay.
than over here. Because what's going to happen is you're in the way Jacob had it. All these are buttons that are going to be all stacked up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I click on steps, as long as there's a steps in here, it's going to stay high lit. In this way, you can put components in a million times. You can hit this button 100 times. Nothing's going to look different here, but you'll see it show up here in the places where your @ symbol is.
Okay.
And then at the very end, when we go to submit the inspection, if any of these fill-ins have been entered for an SP, I have a flag that says, the item has been entered, basically. Then the @ symbol disappears for that item. Now, if you selected an SP and you had not done any, you not do any of the fill-in, then it'll give you the list, and you have the option to continue or go back. And we talked about in the future, and we could do this in the very, very near future, making it so that you can go right back to where you are.
Right.
That would be the slick solution, I think.
Yeah, I like that solution. That's nice.
Yeah. And if it doesn't require a whole lot of time, I will, I'll try to get it in this weekend at the end.
Okay.
But, that's the thing is I prefer that the inspector clicks the button and then goes and taps on, this will be a link where it says sliding glass. And if they wanted to remove it, they would just tap on that as a link and it would just disappear. That way they can continue clicking. And then because there's going to be some issues with ordering, like an inspector will see and then steps, and they might click steps and then and then it would go back in the reverse direction. It would be easiest to go to say, all right, write as if you're writing a sentence, tap on the buttons as if you're writing a sentence, and if you have any problems, go over here to remove entries.
Okay.
Yeah. Now,
so
go ahead.
How's it going to work with the little if they click on the is there going to be like a little menu pop up?
Oh no, that Jacob has. I didn't put it on here because it's just, to me, it's just another version of this. But Jacob has. Let me pull up my screen here. He has. It's. he has this. So
Right, but now tap the at though.
yeah,
See
so
how that?
those words are these are hard coded words according to my notes here, right?
Yes, those are hard coded words. That's correct.
Yeah, so this will be the same thing. Um, this at the um, yeah, so yeah, no, it still worked the same way. There's no difference. Yeah, what I
Okay.
have is what's going on is you would have still the at symbol, and then you have the option to click on one of these things, or any of these, or any of those. So there's no difference.
Right.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
yeah, this is also
Perfect. And so, just to be clear, down where it says various areas or several locations, um, my intention was to keep the what is that? The pronoun conjunction,
right.
the at. Yeah. So if they were to click various, it would say at, instead of at the, it would say at various, and then they could either say areas or locations. So they could build it to say at various areas or at various locations.
Yeah, that's the only one that I uh, saw as an issue. Not, I mean, the only one that I'm showing as if you click on various, it will remove the um, you know any
The
singular any singular because if you type in
right.
various areas or several areas or several locations, it's going to get rid of all the location data. It's just going to put various areas.
Right. Yeah, so various and several would work in the same way.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
But now, did you would you want to say um, there's rust in the piping in various areas, and uh, you know, on the water heater,
Yes. Yeah, they might say that.
right? That would,
They could say and on the left side water heater.
yep.
Yeah. There's all kinds of weird things they might say.
You know what? We might, yeah, that's a manual sentence that we'll have to work on that. I'm hesitant to pull that uh, various areas or various and several and make it remove all the other uh, conjunctions on all these other nouns, because if you did that, like then that inspector might want to put in various areas and downstairs water heater.
Yeah. Or they might want to say various areas of the downstairs bathroom.
Right. Yeah. 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 Uh,
Yeah.
I think that probably the best scenario for week one would be don't force the change at all, and let them know that various areas is we're just creating a sentence here, and if they,
Precisely.
yeah, if the sentence
Yeah.
structure is bad, and this should not be rocket science. Um, but you,
Yeah.
huh, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you to do there. I would say the way Jacob had it is various areas changes all of the locations to various areas. But
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. Just make it as if they were building a sentence. Just make it as if it was a typewriter with words instead of letters.
right, right,
Seriously, the only thing about that little pop-up window right there is, um, so if they tap everything other than various or several, it's gonna make the window disappear. It'll, like, for example, if they tap in the,
right,
it's going to change at the to in the, and then the window will disappear.
right,
But if they type various, if they hit various, then the window will stay open until they hit either areas or locations.
Okay. All right.
And same thing with several.
Okay. Um, so this brings up a question then. So wherever I see the @ symbol, I am assuming that that this is a editable content. And do you want me to change it to @ immediately and then open this up, or do you want me to go ahead?
You mean if they type it? I mean if they tap it?
Yeah.
Yeah, if they tap it, have it so that little box opens up.
Okay. And then okay, I got it. No big deal. All right.
Okay.
Let's
yeah, and like I say, other than that, just make it like a typewriter. Just literally. I mean, would they just hit a word and it just pops it in there? It doesn't really have to be any more complicated than that, because the sentences that they create are so complex in some cases that you can never predict it. There's no way you're going to be able to predict it. So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I will do what I can do here. When you get the prototype, or I guess the non-formatted one, all of these items are vertical, but
Right.
I will group them with the code that I'm getting from them.
Okay, perfect.
A science to figuring out how many buttons can fit in a box.
Right.
So I'll get that. And so right now you'll see them vertically, and I'll put right now I have the ampersand, the @ symbol instead of but I'll put that in there.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Okay, I'll let you get to work, and I'll be looking for that in the morning.
Okay, perfect. We'll catch you later.
Okay, great. Okay, bye.